welcome to the Obithorian Alliance. In today's video we'll be reviewing Utopia, Amazon Prime's remake US version. Like and subscribe, thank you. Utopia is an American science fiction drama television series dominated by Gillian Faye from the 2003 British original. It was released on September 25th, 2020 on streaming service Prime Original. So far, one season contains 8 episodes has been released but a second season has yet to be announced. It stars notorious actors such as John Cusack, Ryan Wilson. It is set in America and follows a group of conspiracy theorists who have never met but chat on about a comic book called Dystopia, which they believe exclaims and predicts previous global epidemic. The group finds themselves in danger as multiple parties are interested in getting their hands on this comic book and seeking a character called Jessica Hines. The story becomes more complex and more interesting each episode as we discover more about this conspiracy and the ending of the world due to lethal disease. With the characters, a few stand out in Utopia. To start off with Dr. Kevin Christie. He has a corporation and business called from his name, and he has goals and are quite interesting, and you agree with him and what he's trying to do, you kind of believe, and he's quite engaging, and John Cusack does amazing performance on screen, and quite enjoyed the character development and things like that with the character. His means don't justify what happens with the story, but kind of have to agree with what happens, but he's quite interesting in the plot and quite important. So the next character is Arby. He's basically a hitman. Arby starts off quite ruthless, and you kind of are quite intimidated with his actions, but by looking at him in the street, if he was a normal, going somewhere, like, he doesn't look intimidated, but he's really skillful at harming and executing and things like that. But in his role, he's actually a henchman for the main Dr. Cusack, and you get the most development from him with the cult. You work out why he's the way he is, and then he actually kind of helps out in society, and we find out what his purpose is, and it's pretty ruthless, and I definitely enjoy his backstory, and I hope we get more of it. So the next character is Michael Stern, played by Rainn Wilson, who's most famous from The Office. It's quite engaging seeing him in a different role, and in this show, Utopia, he actually plays a scientist that's most famous from finding a disease in Peru, and we find that he's actually quite involved and quite more important than what we probably realize in the story and the outcomes of humanity than what we first realized. And it's quite engaging seeing where he's gonna come and develop in the future in hopefully season 2. So there's quite a lot of mysteries and turns throughout the show, and throughout we find out more clues and more what's going on and what's this corporation doing, what's the game trying to to solve and trying to help save humanity. And then it even ends on a cliffhanger as well. They even makes you want to have a, hopefully there's a season 2 on Amazon Prime, so it's all kind of starts out really intriguing and then it finishes on an even bigger cliffhanger, so it takes you on a journey and then it makes you want to have that journey continue. It does a really good job with that, and that's the biggest recommendation I would give the show, is its journey and its twists and turns and its plot. For someone that didn't watch the British version of Utopia, for a newcomer into the universe or the series, I quite enjoyed the conspiracy sections and found it quite engaging, and the mysterious of what was going to happen next. I would highly recommend it for people, plot-wise and story-wise, for people that haven't seen or want to watch on Amazon Prime for the plot. It's quite amazing, and there's a couple of problems though with scenes and things like that. Unfortunately, there's one scene that we get told, oh, it's going to be really hard to get into. We expect it to be like this epic thing, and then it's really kind of not really that epic. It's kind of, we get told something, but it's not. So that's kind of a little bit disappointing. And then other scene when you could tell something's going to happen for the sake of it, what I personally didn't enjoy, like characters getting separated for the sake of it, I don't think is good. But they're just small things that just give it a little bit of a weak point, but nothing's perfect. And just final thoughts. I personally thought that if you're more into more plot and story driven shows, I would highly recommend it. That's why I think its main strength is it keeps you engaged. And unfortunately though, the characters are very average, and there's a couple of standouts I mentioned, but the characters don't, I feel like they're more there, and all of them are good. There's just there's one that goes through a journey, but it's more the destination, not things like that. I personally felt like, from going in with no, because there's actually a other utopian version that was made in Britain, and I haven't watched that version, so I felt like going in with an open mind. I quite enjoyed the Amazon Prime remake, or their own spin on it. I felt like a couple of people might unharshly, or might deserve it from a certain point of view, how you kind of want to see it, might unfairly judge it to the original. It depends where you're looking at. I still quite enjoyed the show for someone with an open mind and looking with fresh eyes. So conclusion, I would definitely highly recommend it for people that want conspiracy theory journeys and stories, and more for story. If you like story shows, I would highly recommend it. If you don't like, if you're more interested in it actually covers that debate. Is story arcs more, or characters more important, or story and plot more important? Because the story and the plot, I think, get more the attention, and the characters, but I was still invested with the plot. It's a very well-deserved conclusion, and very much hope there's a season 2 coming, because if there's not, I think Amazon has lost potential with the story. Final verdict, a 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy. Like and subscribe. Bye bye.